coming up, it's going to be your Pulse Radio Show. Brought to you with the compliments of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Martindale's Road in St. Michael.
Good morning to you. Monday, July 13th is the date, and it's, as usual, always my pleasure to spend some time with you, at least for 1 hour every Monday, to give you all of the updates coming from our hospital. I'm communications specialist Shane Seeley. It's been a busy week for us at the QEH, and of course last week we were telling you about all that was happening with the pharmacy. A&E is quite busy as well. You probably saw it. We did it last week. We put out that advisory relating to the increased demand for care in the accident and emergency department. It was a busy week, so that's why we advised the public that the department was experiencing a significant increase in patient numbers, something that we like to call a surge. It's something that we have to deal with from time to time. There are ebbs and flows of patients coming into the department, and at that time when we issued it, that was July 7th, and the surge continues into this week for a number of reasons. We were seeing some increased numbers in terms of respiratory conditions presenting to the department. We actually saw some traumas as well, but some other conditions, heart attacks, NCDs, etc., that really played that role in seeing the numbers increase during last week and leading into this week. All hands on deck approach at the A&E right now, as our doctors, consultants, and all the team responds to those patients there, and we're trying to do our best. We will keep you updated right here on the Pulse Radio Show, and of course on our website www.qehconnect.com. If you have any questions, we always like to tell persons you may not quite understand what to do in these situations, and that's why we always give you the patient advice and liaison service to call at 536-4800, normally between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. We do sometimes extend it when there's a surge. Right now we're up to 7 p.m. and you can get guidance on the most appropriate care. You have the option of visiting the polyclinic nearest to you during their opening hours, or the 24-hour Winston Scott Polyclinic at Gemmett's Lane for medical assistance, and you can have that option as well. You do have that option of calling your private healthcare provider for advice. So please, we are trying to do our best there in the accident and emergency department. For urgent cases, we have been seeing a lot of urgencies and the emergencies. So please, you can check out our website www.qehconnect.com for more information, and we will keep updating you as the situation changes, because we do know that our doctors, our medical staff will get things right for those visiting the department. Today we are going to talk clinical and diagnostic services, one of those other components under our 2025 to 2028 strategy that has been seeing some major upgrades and improvements right across the board, really. So we're going to get into that in a matter of moments. And we did promise you that the Most Honourable the Most Honourable Corey Forde, our Director of Clinical and Diagnostic Services, would be back with us here on the show this week, and here he is. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. It's amazing and fantastic to be here.
Always a pleasure to have you.
Yep, talk to Barbadians out there and what's going on in the clinical and diagnostics. I'm going to break tradition, and I'm just going to say a quick prayer, if I'm being allowed to.
Of course.
Okay.
Well, let me say you're not breaking tradition as such, because it has become tradition for you.
Oh, for tradition for me.
Yes, and it has become tradition
and
for you.
And it should be for everyone who gets up on mornings.
Indeed.
See a new day.
100%. Okay. So that word of prayer.
That'll be 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for all that you've provided us. We thank you for giving us knowledge that you've provided us to help persons out there who are in need. Lord, I prayed this morning for the strength of all of those within the healthcare system who come to work every single day to try to help persons out there who are in need. Lord, we also pray upon those persons who may have difficulties of their own in their own life to continue to remember the importance of empathy towards everyone that they deal with. And we also pray, dear Heavenly Father, that you will give them strength to deal with the difficult times that they face each day and for any difficult times ahead. We believe that you're able to do above and beyond anything that we ever ask or think. And we pray for administrators within hospital, and we pray for every single Barbadian that they take their health into their own hands. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. And remember our numbers to call here on Q100.7 FM, CBC Radio for the QEH Pulse Radio Show, 434-1007. You can also call 434-1070 or send a WhatsApp at 434-1007. So we started the program with an update about A&E. I know another topic that Barbadians were also very interested in over the last 2 weeks or so was the pharmacy. For those of you who didn't know, we have been looking to transition to the platform to support what is the Universal Health Information System, as we take the hospital from a heavily paper-based system to a fully digital system where there will be a number of improvements which will benefit patient care. And that's the central and main thing that this transition is about: improving patient care across the board and improving efficiency for patients as they traverse the network that is our hospital. Part of that was the enhancement in terms of changing the system in the pharmacy. There were some teething problems in the initial phases, and the teams have been going through that, and it slowed our delivery of service for a few days. Then we were able to turn it around and improve the numbers close to where they were, and we're getting back to some sense of normalcy in the department. The pharmacy, it was busy for the last 2 weeks, and the teams have been working around the clock. Talk to us, Dr. Forde, because the pharmacy is under your directorate, about how we've been managing through this transition.
First of all, good morning to all Barbadians. I just want to first say thank you to all the pharmacists at the general pharmacy for the amount of work that they've put in the event of getting a new system on. Now, like I said before, the events that happen are really not directly the pharmacy's fault.
Indeed.
However, I think anytime that there are challenges within the system, you have to step up and try to fix them and get them back in order to provide this level of service that we would expect or would want that every single Barbadian to have. There were challenges, like you said in the beginning, with the system itself, with integration of the system, that's since been fixed. Some other small challenges in between. Obviously, people have to get accustomed to a new system. They've been trained, but it's different now when you're live with multiple people in front of you. It becomes difficult. And I think the staff have really come up to the floor in trying to manage this scenario. What I would say, certainly in the first few days of having the system in place, I wasn't on the ground, I was on holiday at that time, but the first few days were pretty tough. I think there was the whole talk about the ticketing system, which had been around since I was a medical student, potentially.
The ticketing system is nothing new, but we have been paying more attention to it now.
Yeah, and I think we have to relook at how we do that as well. I think, I'll say this, and somebody thought about when I was laying in my bed staring at the ceiling last night, quite interested in preparation for the program and thinking. And one of the things I thought about is, when the public of Barbados, generally are concerned about the event, or people have different ideas, and we may be schooled and trained in areas, but it's often good to listen to people outside. I always use this, and I used it as my own personal mantra. Anytime somebody complains about something, don't fret about them complaining. Look and see what they're complaining about and try to fix it. And that's exactly what we try to do. So we certainly have gotten the numbers quite on par with what they were before, but acknowledging that knowledge is still going to be a wait, maybe a few delays, and that's really obviously because you created a backlog of people. So people were coming, they weren't able to be seen, and then they come back the next day. So you may be at your normal numbers, but you're still in that backlog phase. So what are we going to do about that is really the question. So yes, you'll hear shortly about some extended hours to try to compensate for that. What we've already done is engage. Thanks for those pharmacists within the community who have stepped up to help QEH. That started this Saturday. We didn't say
Amazing
anything.
stuff.
We didn't say anything, but it doesn't matter say anything. You just have to go and do actionable things as opposed to just talk and say what you're going to do. So that someone came on the ground. Actually, one is working this morning as we speak to try to beef up the pharmacy, understanding there's going to be a backlog. So although we may be up to our normal numbers, we expect that at times you will have these backlogs in place. It's not something that I would not have expected. So we're currently doing that, and we'll have and I'll announce in due time, very short order, what those extended hours would be. And I think it's going to help the average Barbadian. But I just want to take you back a little bit and use the opportunity, although we're talking about that, to mention a few key points to all the Barbadians listening today. I think when we deal with medication and medication refills, you don't have to think for now, but you have to think towards the future. But the first thing I just want to tell you today is, I want you to be responsible citizens. And part of that responsibility as well is, don't wait till the day before your medication runs out or come on the day your medication runs out. And I've really spoken to the pharmacy and said, look, if people come at least a week before and they want to get their medications renewed, just renew the prescriptions up to a week or so before people will come. So come when your medication is run out. We don't want you to run out to your medications. We want you to have the best of medical care that there is, and then next, those persons also be responsible. So one of the things that happened in that first phase, which is quite dramatic, as I saw it, was people were actually taking more than one tickets or 3 or 4 tickets and holding them for a friend and that sort of thing. We ask you to dissuade you from doing that, because it actually brings chaos into the system as well. Imagine that old granny is waiting there from St. Lucie and somebody from St. Peter and St. John for their medications, and you see somebody who just turns up and they're at the window with a ticket. I mean, that's you're not going to feel good about that. So I think we all of this, you always have to be our brother's keeper in the whole event.
I think that is what people thought they were doing, being their brother's keeper, taking 3 or 4 tickets for their friends, because we mentioned this before, some people don't use the medication delivery service because they literally want to come there in person.
That's something that we can't, that's almost a cultural thing.
Exactly, can't get away from
that.
But
with that in place, we have to modernize our system. Just as we're modernizing the electronic system, we're going to modernize the system so that when your doctor sits in the clinic, they will be eventually just ordering your medication. It goes straight to your pharmacy. If you lose that prescription, you don't have to come back down in the hospital searching for the doctor anymore. That would be a thing of the past. Additionally, what we're looking towards is a much bigger picture, a much bigger discussion, and usually when I talk to you about something, I come back on and update you as to how far we've gone. This is the first time you hear me talking about this, so the next time you hear me back on here, I'm going to give you the actions that have been taken, as opposed to come and tell you what I'm going to do over and over again and never do it.
Right.
So one of the key things you're looking for is divestment, which is taking the pharmacy from where it is. So divestments on 2 fronts. There's some people who go to the polyclinic most of the time and get their medications, but there's one that they have to get from the hospital because it's a category B drug. We're going to move to a point where we will be supplying those drugs to polyclinic so that you can continue use theirs. And then divesting further, so divesting now and taking this outside of the hospital arena. You may live in Christchurch, or you may live in St. Philip, and we may have agreements with certain pharmacies. You'll be able to go and get your medications from there, so you don't have to make the down trek down to hospital as well. The home delivery system is something that we're looking at present. It's become a bit big at this point. We need to keep it going and keep the same fervor as we had at the beginning. More and more people are joining the system, so we'll need to improve our staffing arrangements there as well and within that system. But to say I said all of that, but to say all of this, I'm asking you today to continue to work with us as we go through this process. Any new system that's put in place will have its challenges. We anticipate many things, but we can't anticipate for everything. But I know that, and I am absolutely sure that every Barbadian at the end of this is going to see it move into a zone which actually benefits them overall. So I just want to assure people of that. So this is the start of a very big process. Just happy to start with the pharmacy, a very big process if we go through the system and improve things. Ultimately, your doctor in polyclinic and your doctor wherever else will have access to your medical information, including your prescriptions. This is going to be an absolute tremendous change for the system. Some, like for you who are people who've lived overseas and you've seen these things already, will have access to your medical information, including your medications, what you're on, if the doses have been changed, etc. So it makes for a very well compact, complete healthcare system by having access. I always believe that whether it be lab tests or whether it be these sort of things of medications, that is the information of the patient and it belongs to the patient and they should have access to it.
So, I mean, so much has happened in terms of coming out of the transition. We've been able to review the process, get things back on track.
On a daily basis, sorry, I'm so enthusiastic about this, but the system is so cool right now. I can see everybody who's working, so I can see how much prescriptions each pharmacist fills on a daily basis. And trust me, they've been working really, really hard. I can see on a daily basis how many of the level of prescriptions they're doing, how many are doing per divisions, how many inpatients, as Chris is going. There's a lot of work that is happening. There's a lot, and that's why I keep saying I continue to applaud my staff in the pharmacy for the tremendous work they've done in this difficult period. And sometimes it's in the face of people shouting and hollering at them and cursing them. And I understand why they may feel that they need to do that, but it's not acceptable.
Indeed. We got so much more to talk about because this is just one component of the 2025 to 2028 strategy, of course, ignited and initiated by the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Neil Clark, with the executive team and with all the buy-in and input from our staff right across the board and from you, members of the public. 2 public town halls we would have had where you would have had a snapshot seeing exactly what the improvements targeted for the QEH look like. There are more improvements across the board. The Enmore redevelopment, most of the departments have now moved out, including one under your directorate, Dr. Forde, Infection Prevention and Control. And the big one to come, which is the ENT clinic, ear, nose, throat clinic, that will be moving shortly. And trust me, we will update you on that when it is in that moving phase and when it has found its new home in Belleville. So we'll keep you posted on that. But looking at the Directorate of Clinical and Diagnostic Services under the strategy, another big thing has been teleradiology services. And I mean, some people might want to chime in here, so let me give you those numbers again. 4341007, 4341070. Feel free to send a WhatsApp to 4341007 as you listen to us here on radio and of course online at www.cbc.bb/100.7 FM. Teleradiology services. First, explain for our listeners what that encompasses, what it really is, and why this is so important, and the enhancements that have been happening are so important for the delivery of care.
Yeah, I remember the last time I was here, I told you about this thing that we were doing, teleradiography. But I just want to shift it back a bit. So there are many different areas, I think, for each of my, in line with the strategy, which I always benchmark against. In line with the strategy, there's certain things that were required for us to do from 2025 to 2020. And I would say for most of my directorates, we have made magnificent inroads there. You're saying with the pharmacy. Now this is a big one with teleradiography. So if you don't know, so radiology basically is when you come to the hospital, you might want to get an x-ray, or might want to get a CT scan, not MRIs yet, but I'll tell you about that in the end. And you may want to get a CT scan, and then they have to be reported, and then the doctor uses that information to make decisions. But it also is more than that. You may have, what we call a barium meal or a barium swallow. We do less of them, or even a mammogram in some cases. in the interventional stuff. So one of the key things that we went to after within this first year and a half of this strategy is to try to do something based on information. And I rock everything I do based on information and data. I think data rules the world, and so we use data to try to make changes. And one of the things we recognized, it was a tremendous I'm starting, for me it's a job about 3 years or so, but I'm starting to realize the backlog was tremendous in terms of the amount of imaging that was done, and then a lot of it was not read. So we embarked on a program with teleradiography, having persons read your x-rays, but they'll have to be on site. They're overseas in the middle of the night. You come to A&E department, you have to wait on our guys here to read them. Now we have people who are reading them 24/7. What I would tell you is
24/7. How is that being done?
24/7, yeah. So, in short, we were back down at least. I'm not exaggerating. More than pretty close to 500,000 studies in reading. That's of all studies, not just CTs or all studies of imaging, dating back many years. We made a conscious decision for all the imaging 3 years back from February 2026 when we started, that we will read all of that imaging in 6 months. I am very happy to say this morning that we have almost accomplished that task. We probably only have less than 100 imaging. Before I came here, I was driving up in the car, I called back to say, give me an exact number. So we're definitely less than 100 imaging of both CTs and x-rays for that period.
So I want you to paint a picture about what that means in terms of bringing it from 500,000.
Yeah, so close to 500,000. So it's somewhere
to under 100.
To under 100.
All right.
Within 6 months.
So I like numbers. 500,000. And within 6 months, we were
able to do that. And of course, this is important because this impacts your care. So people who may have had, keep going back to the doctor, they say the image is not read yet, because we have a finite amount of people within Barbados who can read those images who are working in the hospital. And it was a challenge for the hospital in recruiting these persons. You remember we had a crisis in recent times with this particular department in terms of radiologists, and the amount of radiologists that would have been available to read imaging. So I think when the iron strikes, you have to think outside the box. So we embarked on this program, and we were able to bring down the imaging significantly. For I think the number is, as I said before, but what it does for you is make sure that the imaging that you've done recently, that you'll have it read for that period. So between February.
So it's February, up to date. So you don't have to come back to find out if your condition.
Exactly. So let me just be clear. That's for 3 years back. So there may be some before that are not read. We decided to tackle that as is because it's a bit further back. Sorry. So we try to tackle within that 3 year period. These are people who may have, because people, for example, people have like cancer. They'll have like one CT scan and the doctor makes an assessment, treat you, and then they need the next one. So you don't want to come back for your CT imaging and that's not available yet. So we have a special relationship now with oncology. So they're ones that read through teleradiography. So it's going to prove that. So anytime you go back and the doctor said it's not back yet, tell them to check back and just to be ensured, because they're so accustomed saying it's not ready that somebody just say it's not ready. So we need to make sure
so we're now on a different playing field,
yeah.
For sure. We do have a caller. Welcome. Good morning, caller, to the Pulse Radio Show.
Mr. Seeley, how are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm not well because this is 2 weeks now. I put my medication for it to collect to bring it out, so now I get my medication.
This is medication delivery service.
Yes, please.
Okay, we have Dr.
And I need
Forde
my
here.
medication.
Of course you do.
All right. I am so glad you. Can I address you, or how are you this morning? I know you say you're a bit distressed, but I hope by sound of my voice you feel a little bit better. I can try to fix this one for you.
Okay.
All right. So at the end, I'll ask you to just leave your name and stuff. I'll give you a buzz. I have one of my people to give you a buzz. So as I said just now, with the backlog that happened because of the challenge, and I think some people are not going through the home delivery, so it's become a bit of a challenge there. I'm trying to work with the guys. Like I told you that we're bringing on some other people to try to help right now. For some Barbadian pharmacists who are not associated with the hospital have come on board to try to help us. And today I'm just asking if you're out there.
They will be successful to the
there will be
people out there.
Yes, you know me, right? I always tell people I came up very poor.
Yes,
right?
me too.
I came up poor as poor, so I understand how people feel when they go through these.
But I need my
stressful
medication.
situations. We'll make it happen. All right. So
hold on. I'll leave you. You got my number ready? There's 2 weeks now that I was calling you on a straight.
Call me.
Yes, please.
No, you. So you're hearing Dr. Forde's voice. You probably mean me, Shane. So that is not a problem. I will have Kimberly take the number again, and we will have the medication delivery service, our team there, and also the patient advice and liaison service reach out to you.
And
you're calling the number, and it's just busy morning, not night.
Probably had a number of calls.
Given it's happened to you, and you've called in here before,
I'm
going to call you personally. Okay? I will call you personally.
I will get Kimberly the number.
Okay, you do
Thank
that.
you very much.
All right, sorry that happened.
We do apologize for that, though.
All right, thank you. Upset it.
All right, my dear.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
We have another caller. Good morning. Welcome to the Pulse Radio Show. How can we help?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. We're here. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine right now.
Okay, that's good to hear. How can we assist you, my dear?
I wanted to check on an appointment. I was calling the eye clinic for weeks to check on an appointment, and I can't get through.
Okay. Well, call 536.
Pardon?
I want you to call 536-4800. 536-4800. You're going to remember that number?
Yes.
And just explain to them what would have happened in terms of your appointment, and let the patient advice and liaison service team give you some guidance. And you can also leave your number here with our producer Kimberly Skeet, and we will make sure that I would love you to try that number first, but then we'll also follow up and give you a call too to make sure that everything has been sorted for you.
Yeah, but I think the appointment is tomorrow.
You think? All right, well, we're going to have to give you a call urgently, so we need you to call 536-4800 first, and we're going to follow up with you to make sure that you're on track for your appointment, yeah?
Okay.
Not a problem. Thank you for calling.
And thank you too.
Please stay on the line.
I will.
Please stay on the line so that Kimberly can take your contact information. And I mean, you can feel free to share your experience with us at the QEH as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to go on the tele. So tele is not for a full 24-hour system. But somebody's going to tell me, okay, between February and now I missed the scan was done during the day. So we're working with our internal team now to fix that other part of the challenge, which is images which are done during the course of the day. I'm working directly with the head of the department, and I know that we're having help soon. So I believe that we will be able to move on that and complete the imaging during the day. So the tele really covers, so you get a feel of what I'm saying. The teleradiography actually covers at night. That's so people come to A&E at night and imaging and stuff. And the truth, I'm up at night sometimes just looking at the screen just to see if there are any challenges as well. With the system, I did that quite early on. Many nights me up just to make sure everything was going smoothly. And it covers as well oncology services during the day, because it's a very unique area. I can't afford to wait too much longer to have those imaging read. And also it covers as well any emergency situations that the head of department, my team, deem necessary if things are busy. Because remember, these guys are not just reading imaging, they're doing things, they're doing procedures, for example, they're doing biopsies, etc. So it becomes difficult. What I would say is one of the things that coming out to the direct, when it comes out to looking at the overall plan over a period of time, it's not just only about getting tele services or whatever. It's also about building structure and building ourselves internally as an institution within the department. And what does that mean? It means planning ahead, contingency planning, for example, or planning People might be retiring soon, etc. So, planning ahead with those events. This is one of those areas that I encourage those medical students who are listening, those who are in school might be interested. This is one of those areas that's quite lucrative across the globe, not only in Barbados, and it's really in radiology and even interventional radiology. We have a few Barbadians who are out training in that as well at present. We expect to return home when the hospital is supported. So I think it's about planning a system which is really broad, and looking at all the different elements of the system. So yes, tele is in place. We still need our local people on the ground. There's nothing like a doctor doing a piece of imaging and talking to the radiologist and showing and teaching them on the ground. There is nothing like that, right? But there's also the other element of it is we're planning for the future, encouraging medical students, encouraging doctors and stuff who are in training to say, look, this is a nice area to get into for a country, and certainly you will have the jobs on the ground to accommodate these type of services.
Okay, we do have another caller on the line. Good morning. Welcome to the QEH Pulse Radio Show. I'm Shane Sean here with Dr. the Most Honourable Corey Forde, our Director of Clinical and Diagnostic Services. How can we assist?
I've been calling about 2 weeks now for medication for delivery, and there's medication that I have to take every day early, and I haven't received it as yet.
Okay. Did you call who were you calling? You were calling the home delivery service?
I called the QEH medical right to deliver, yeah.
536-4804, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. It seems to be a problem. There's some people have been calling and say they're not getting through. The lines have been busy because of the backlog, and I know in my head and heart that's part of the problem.
Yeah, but it's the medication that I can't do without.
I know, and I'm going to help you, just like I helped the other guests. But once I see this is the second person who's called and said there's a problem there, and we know there's a backlog, and we are putting systems in place. We've already put systems in place to try to achieve a difference within that particular sector. So I just, again, like I told the last caller, leave your information at the end of the call. I'll try personally to give you a call to try to figure out what has happened, to get a little bit more detail from you. Don't want you to give that on air so everybody knows your name, full name, and telephone number. But right, so I will give you a buzz directly after and try to see how I can assist. But when I tell you for sure, I want you to believe this one from me, right? The guys on the ground have been going for
Michael's been,
yeah, I know. You
you
even know Michael's name. Look at you. Look at you. I know he tries his best. He tries his best.
Yeah, he tries his best. But a lady took the information, and then they months and months you don't get the medication.
Not months. 2 weeks.
Couple of weeks, and the couple of weeks coincide with when we had the surge. So I understand what's going on. All right. So I'm gonna deal with it for you. Okay.
No problem.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, we want you to stay on the line and give your information to Kimberly Skeet so that Dr. Forde can give you a buzz to ensure that you get your medication, that it doesn't go any further.
You have a fantastic day. Thanks for calling. Appreciate your call.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, and the thing is, we know that the transition has been happening. We know the fallout and the recovery that has been happening. But when we get these calls, we know who we
know
need,
where we need to target.
Those people who have not been left behind, but who would have not had they need to have in terms of getting the contact to us.
And I think with the extended hours that will be coming shortly. We technically started this Saturday, we're going to give more information on that as time goes on. We technically started this Saturday because we ran the pharmacy till 7 p.m.
Nice.
I didn't announce it because I wanted to make sure it ran perfectly smooth. But that we will give more information and details. It's not going to be every day. It'll be some days. And I think it'll be good for Barbadians. But ultimately, we need to move from people just sitting at the window, just waiting for medications. And if they have a pharmacy which is next door to them or within close vicinity to them, they certainly can get them.
And you did mention beefing up the medication delivery service as well.
Yeah.
That is so
Yeah.
important
Yeah.
in terms of making it a lot more convenient.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's the
For the
system is
patients.
about making it convenient. You know, I always tell people I grew up with my grandma, so everything is a wrong grandma and grandfather, right? Which is understanding the nuances and the difficulties that they face with, also understanding the fact that, you know, the son or the daughter might be working during the day and they might take an hour off from work to come get the medication and they really want to get up here. Trying to move people away from that in short order and moving them into a phase where, you know, they can get the medication to some place which is near to them. I think that's where we need to go. And I'm not even getting through half my directorate yet, and the many things that we've
Don't
done.
worry, I'll keep you on track. I'll keep you on track because a big part of your directorate too is laboratory services.
Yeah.
And
But we didn't even move from laboratory yet. I've stayed in radiology because since then we got the CT downstairs working, the X-ray.
when you sit downstairs, you go. Listen, I know, or I should say, I believe that people have become so familiar now. This is the 5th season of the Pulse Radio Show.
Yeah.
You've been here so many times talking about downstairs, which is when we
Accident
say downstairs, we
emergency.
talk about accident and emergency department. So that's literally on the ground floor.
The hospital has got back the place. The one that was there before has no challenges. We got back a new CT downstairs, which is totally functional. That's going to speed up the time. Now you don't have to take the patient upstairs for CTs. We got
Shout out Susan Suku for all the great work that she's doing.
Amazing lady. One of my best managers in the division. She's always on top of things and she doesn't let me sleep. But that's okay. I don't do much of that anyway nowadays. And then the next thing there, the X-rays. So before I had to take people up, that's being done downstairs. It's actually part of the whole project in terms of expanding our 16 slice CT upstairs. We're soon going to replace. Last time I spoke to you, remember somebody calling in, and I did call them. I promised I would call, and I did follow through, and I did call them. When somebody called and said, well, they can't get the MRI, it's take long for them to say, the hospital has purchased MRI. And now we're in the phase of making sure the staff are properly trained and we're hiring the appropriate people to try to run that MRI for when it arrives on the ground. What we don't want is it to come and sit down and wait idly. So we have to get ahead of the game. You know, these things are not things you put on a shelf in the supermarket. So it has to be custom built for us, but to assure people that that's something now that will be coming again. And of course that will stretch the staff a bit. So we're looking at, we've already moved ahead at dealing with that and making sure the staff are appropriately trained and dealing with that, because that's a different kettle of fish right there with MRI.
For the average person out there, explain what an MRI, the benefits of having an MRI at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital.
So the benefits of having MRI in the past.
Or you know what, save that. We have 2 callers. We don't want to keep them waiting, and then we'll come back to the benefits of the MRI.
There's a lot of calls today.
Yeah, and because they know that the Most Honourable Corey Forde, Director of Clinical and Diagnostic Services, is here. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the Pulse Radio Show. I'm here with Dr. Corey Forde. How can we help?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. CV and your crew. I too am one of those people that are waiting on an image.
Oh, you're waiting on an image?
I've been on an image. So here, I did tune in late. I didn't hear everything. Just want to know what the procedure or what the next move. Because I had an appointment and I've been turned around for a little while.
Okay, right. So this is an appointment. I don't want to get to your medical details on the call, but it really depends. So the thing is, what I would say is, number one, it shouldn't be in getting the image, because basically, you know, we have improved in fact, a major conversation with Mr. Coop even before I came through the door again, make sure I get my numbers right. So we improve our imaging from, like doing 10 Caesars a day and up to 20, so actually doubled it with implementation tele. There was a situation, like I said before, and I'm always honest on matters, right? So the situation before where there was a serious backlog in imaging, and this is one of the things I saw when I started in this new job about 3 years or so, and we had to figure out a way to get that reading down. It wasn't hundreds, it was thousands.
Wow.
It was
hundreds of thousands,
and to get them down. So we're down on that for years. So if your imaging was done between 2026 February and backwards 3 years, it should have been red. Right, that's for sure. If it was done after that and it was done during the course of the day, there's a probability it hasn't been read as yet, but that's going to be started in the next few months.
It was only done in March.
Right. So see, you see. That is where the issue is right there. So if it was done in March, then it probably would not have been read as yet. So we don't want you to go back to clinic next and it's not read. But we're in a position now where we're trying to fix that. Working with the new.
You assigned to go to clinic, you don't go know what will happen.
Right. So it depends on what clinic you're going to. Which outpatients clinic? They got many. Tell me which one. And I can give you a little secret in a bit.
I don't know, but the one that deal with these MRIs and do.
You mean medical clinic, neurology?
Medical
clinic. So that's a bit different. So the medical clinic, I thought you were going to say oncology. If it was oncology, I could guarantee you it's read already. So
what is the oncology? What the oncology does?
No, that's cancer. That's not you.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
So if that one would be read already. So for the ones in the medical outpatients that were done during the course of the day, the guys are in the process of trying to get those numbers down to zero. I actually have the numbers in front of me. We're trying to get those numbers down to zero. You see, the challenge is what you don't know is that we have limited resources in this at the hospital. And it isn't because EHR is not trying to get the people. It's that we've interviewed several people over time. They interview sometimes, and then when they hear how much money they have to they're getting, they're like, no, they're not coming. So that's been a challenge now for a while. So that's why we had to think outside the box, go to use teleradiography, and I can assure you we get help coming soon. I can't say no more than that on this call, but I tell you, help coming soon. Once that help is on the ground, you will be faced with this problem again. I can almost assure you.
And we will also help you too, because I know Dr. Forde will want to call you after this call. So leave your contact details. I have 3
people now to call. You are one of those persons. You're my new best friend.
Okay, yes.
Leave your number with Kimberly.
Yes, please.
Leave your number with Kimberly, and Dr. Forde will be making a call to you. And of course, he will give you any details that you can follow up. Probably calling our PALS help desk, or not the medication delivery service, unless you need medication delivery. That is an option for you, but the PALS help desk will also be able to assist you. 536-4800, but please leave your details. 36-4800. 536-4800.
But I definitely will call you though.
But we want to personally follow up, so leave your contact details with Kimberly.
Okay.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you too.
I appreciate it. Another caller there here with us on the Pulse Radio Show. How can we help today?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Really well, thank you.
That's wonderful.
You sound chipper today. I like that.
Okay.
Yes.
I asking about my medication delivery service. I've been having it for about a year or anything like that.
All right. So before you talk about the most recent, how has it been going over the year, the last 12 months for you?
Not too good the last few months.
No, I talk about the from the beginning. I'm talking about
You're pretty good then.
Exactly. I wanted to say that.
And not that we are trying to force you to say something good, but we want to understand your experience before we get to the most recent situation.
It's been pretty good then.
So tell us what's happening now.
When it's going on finishing like a week or two before.
Good.
It's due, I call in, and we get a call, and then we get another call, and it will be delivered.
You're doing the right thing. So let's know what's happening. Right.
Yeah, right. So
I call in now. I called over a week ago, and I got no reply. Well, I called again just now, and I got the recording. When I do get through, because it's very busy all the time. When I get through now, I hear someone will call within 24 hours.
Right.
The thing is that this medication I must have it for my eyes for every night. Time is gone, and we don't know what to do now.
Okay.
Well, you've done the right thing in calling us, so that we can help sort you out. And of course, Dr. Forde, who his one of his responsibilities, one of his charges is the pharmacy.
Yes,
he will, call you and find out what is happening. But once you call the medication delivery service and you get that answering service, please leave a message. Always leave a message. And I'm not only saying that for you, I'm just saying that for all listeners who use the medication delivery service. Once you get that prompt, leave the message.
Yeah.
And then in the event
medication, everything, I leave all the information.
Perfect. And then, in the event that you don't get that call within the 24 hours, I always advise call the patient advice and liaison service 536-4800.
Yeah.
Both of the numbers are close, and just say to them, you've done what you were supposed to do, and you have not received the response, so that they can then handle it from there.
Yeah, not making an excuse for the crew. So I think over the last couple of weeks, I know it's been rough. You would have known. Obviously, we had a backlog, and people obviously divert some nights to home delivery. That's why sometimes you call and you can't hear anyone. It's not because they're sitting by your phone not doing anything.
Yeah,
it's because you have multiple people calling, and we're trying to deal with the matter. It's a day-to-day event. In the past couple of months, we have been short in terms of staffing sometimes with that particular system. Again, I don't know if you came onto the call late or early, but we are finding a way around that by using some external pharmacists.
In the meantime, I must purchase the drops because I'm supposed to have them in every night.
No, you don't have to purchase. That's why we're here to help you, right? It's Dr. Forde talking to you.
The week is gone. The medication is gone.
All right. You hear what I just tell you? I'm going to help you. So you leave your number.
All that. I did all that.
But
I should do.
But no, listen to me.
We want you to stay on the line.
I want you to listen. Stay on the line.
I will.
And leave your number. I will call
with
you
Kimberly
at the end, and I will speak to the pharmacist when I get back on the ground. Okay?
Very well.
So you will receive a call from me, and I'm sure you will receive a call from them. Okay?
Right, but remember, do not put down. Stay on the line and speak to Kimberly to give her your contact details.
Right.
We don't want to share your health information on the airwaves. We want you to give that information, not your health information, but your contact details to Kimberly, so that we can definitely return the call. But still try the hotlines that I would have given to you just now. You know, the medication delivery service and the patient advice and liaison service, and then we'll double down and have Dr. Forde call you as well.
But I also want to thank you as well for calling, because I think when I get these calls and stuff, I understand even what's going on. I'm usually on the ground walking about the pharmacy, talking outside to people. That's my style, not sitting in the office. Very underground fella. So I think when you have these calls for people interfacing from the outside with home delivery, which I'm not going to get to do that from walking around and talking to the staff, then I am able to know how we need to marshal our troops in a difficult scenario. We are in a difficult scenario right now, but I think we've done pretty well to get us back to the numbers where we were certainly before, but understanding there's a backlog, and we've had other different ideas and working through the strategies. So just stay on the line, of course. Leave your name. I'll give you a buzz. Please don't go by the medication. We'll get your medication for you, okay?
Yeah, and difficulties, while they're a part of life, we are prioritizing your care. We know that it has been a trying time for the QEH and by extension then a trying time for some patients.
Yeah, but I think I always learned one thing in life, and for those who are listening, something, poor grandma, rest her soul. One thing I learned in life,
I think she's very happy that you always speak and remember her.
Yeah.
As you said, God rest her soul.
Yeah. So one of the things I always remember that she will always tell me, to be honest, is sometimes you go through these adventures and these difficult times, and then it leads you to a place that you never even thought you would have been, which is a good place. And so you might go through this as we try to go through the system and improve things. And it's not only going to be here, as they implement different systems, a simple system, even in the bank, if we introduce a new system and it's chaotic at first, but then once it settles, people see the system improve, and they'll see how things are better for them. So just give us a little bit of time, probably another couple of weeks. I think we'll have this all arrested and sorted. And I'm sure you'll not hear any more calls, certainly about the waiting outside the pharmacy. We're going to be working on the home delivery system. I know there's a challenge. You're already down one staff member as well. I always use the opportunity to say this as well. As much as we, are trying to get staff to work and they're working above and beyond, I also have to be also careful about staff burnout, right? And that's one of the things as director I have my eyes on very closely, right? You can work at a certain point, and then people, start taking on that stress in a personal way. I never want to see that happen to any of my staff as well. So it's one of the eyes I have my eyes on as well, cues on as well. This is why we've asked for extra help from outside, and some people have come forward and using the opportunity to wear their waves to also ask any of the pharmacists outside. Shout out to those from the Pharmaceutical Association. If anybody wants to come and help us during this difficult time, to certainly can contact me directly, and we'll see how you can get to help our pharmacists on the ground who are doing a tremendous amount of work.
Okay, I think we'll take about 2 more callers right here on the Pulse Radio Show. Welcome. Good morning. How can we assist?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I am not too good, but living.
Not too good? All right. Tell us why you're not too good, and let's see how we can help.
Yes,
Wait, before you tell us why you're not too good, I could hear myself echoing in the background. They don't want to hear me.
Turn on the
turn down the radio so that we can have a conversation.
Appreciate
here.
that,
Okay.
sir. Thanks for calling. Let's hear you.
up and on, Shane.
Oh, well, you have now earned another place in my heart. You, if Dr. Forde don't do it, I will definitely call you back. I will.
Okay.
But yeah, how can we help, man? Up and on to you as well, my brother.
I went to the QEH on Friday to get repeat medication.
Right.
Could not get any.
All right. So when you went, this is because it was too busy and they cut off the numbers, or what was it? What was the issue?
Yes, please.
Okay.
What time did you go there? Just out of curiosity.
I went there just about 11:30.
11:30 in the
So
morning.
that
Yes, please.
yeah, right. You really should not have been turned back certainly at that time.
But the problem is that I went to the home delivery office
Mhm.
to explain to the lady in there that I had paid the previous month for medication and it was delivered.
Mhm.
And they did not. I didn't know that I had to call to remind them to deliver the.
Yes.
Oh, so that's a different problem.
Right, and this is something that I will clear up now. I did it
This is a different
last
problem.
week.
Okay.
You
now I
always
understand.
have to give them. It's almost like a prompt. And I will explain to you exactly what's happening. So we do
So this is a different problem. It's not what I
apologize
thought
for
it
that,
was.
but we need you to get your medication. You have medication now, though,
Yes, have at least for 5 days.
for 5 days.
Okay, you'll get
And
your
you made a call?
I made a call, but the line busy all the time.
Yeah, because we're getting a lot of calls right now. All right, so stay on the line. We'll take your information, but I'm going to tell you this as far as the medication delivery service is concerned. So, you give all your information, your name, the national registration number, the delivery address, contact numbers, and the name of the medication or medications. And as for if you're outpatient, you're reminded that the medication delivery request must be placed 3 to 5 days prior to the start of the date of the repeat medication, which you were saying, 3 to 5 days prior to the start. So your order will be delivered to the address provided. On delivery, or those accepting on your behalf, you must present that national registration card for the verification that you are that individual that the medication is supposed to be coming to, or the person collecting for you must have that. And you must sign upon receiving the package. And you're
I did
also
all of that already.
right, good. So we're going through all the things you need to do. You're advised to thoroughly examine that tamper-proof envelope to ensure it is intact. And in the event that it is not sealed, don't accept the delivery. It must be sealed. You must also verify that you've received the correct medication, and you should not take any unfamiliar medication or dosages. I'm going right, Dr. Forde?
Yeah.
All right. And any concerns are to be immediately reported to the pharmacy department, and you know the number 536-4804, or by completing our feedback form. But there's one other thing you must, when it's coming 3 to 5 business days, and sometimes we say up to a week before the start of your medication, you have to call back and say, you need to put in that order again. You need to put in the order monthly. It is not automatic once you do it.
It's not automatic.
It is not automatic.
The other thing we expect with the new system, that there's going to be flags and bells that will help with this sort of thing. So that's the new system that we're going into right now. Might help solve your problem, sir. But I think your problem there again, home delivery, you did go down there. Like I told the other caller, at the end of the call, stay on the line. Don't put the phone down. Stay on the line. Let's take your name, and we try to get that sorted out for you.
So for you, caller, I just want you to remember, it is not automatic. For callers calling the medication delivery service, you must call every month, 3 to 5 business days before your medication runs out. And we advise sometimes a week before the medication runs out. You can put in that call, and then Michael or any other member of the team will guide you.
I need to say the $10 service is not for the hospital. That's for the delivery people. I have to
Exactly.
say that.
We don't make any money
people
off
will
of
say,
it.
"Oh, the hospital want $10."
No.
It's not for the hospital. It's actually for the delivery people who are a private delivery service that's delivering the medication for you. Because we can't ask them to do it for free.
Exactly. They're saving many people 4 bus fares. And 4 bus fares, $7, $14. Instead, you pay between, I think, $10 and $16, and you get it coming to that delivery address that you want it to come to in the comfort of whatever you're doing.
But sorry, I assure you, over the next few weeks, we're going to be beefing up home delivery a bit with what in terms of what we're currently doing.
But we do thank you for calling and leaving your contact details with Kimberly, because it helped us to address another issue. Just to remind persons using the medication delivery service that you must call every month 3 to 5 business days before your supply runs out, so that we can have that delivery service coming to you. I even go a little further, a week before. Even better.
I said a week before is reasonable, to the guys try to work around that, and at least a week before people the medication, especially in the current situation certainly that we're in. But we're going to catch up, and we have put measures in place to catch up. We've certainly caught back up to where we were before, but we don't have to go above and beyond that. And I can tell you, look at the numbers every day. When they get up, look at the numbers, and we see what people have done yesterday, see how people have been working. So I can assure you, none of the people at the window are working below the pace of before.
Dr. Forde, you have it's 11:59, a few seconds to go, and you haven't covered half of your directorate, but you've dealt with a lot of those bugbearers. Of course, so what would have happened over the last 2 weeks.
There's so many things that happen.
So you know what that means. I enjoy saying it. You have to make a return right here with us on the Pulse Radio Show. You have about 3 or so more episodes for this season. So you got to make a return, Dr. Forde.
Very well, so be it.
Any final words, parting words?
Final words. I want to encourage Barbados to continue to support us as we go through these institutional changes for improvement over a long-term period. There can be a little bit of pain, but I can assure you there will be lots of gains. We're doing everything possible at our hospital under the strategy led by our CEO, our COO, Louise Bob, and the executive team to ensure that patient care is our top priority, and we enhance it right across the board. You have been listening to Dr. the Most Honourable Corey Forde, Director of Clinical and Diagnostic Services. I'm your host, Shane C., the Communications Specialist, for another edition of the Pulse Radio Show. I just want to take this last few moments to say my condolences to the family and friends of David Linton, former schoolmate. He is being laid to rest today. May he rest in peace. And for all of those listening to us here, may you continue to have a good week, as we will join you next Monday for another edition of the Pulse Radio Show. Looking forward to hearing from you then. See you then. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Pulse Radio Show, brought to you with the kind compliments of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Martindale Road, St. Michael.